Really?
Hello everyone, and welcome to Critical Recovery. This is a 5th edition homebrew Dungeons & Dragons campaign set in a persistent world for as long as this world continues to exist, which, based on the characters that are intent on saving it, it's only a matter of time. My name is Crash, and I'll be your DM for the evening. Tonight I am joined by a collection of fantastic people who are much better than the characters they portray.
Allegedly.
Some of them, well, if your characters are awesome, that means you're that much more awesome.
Allegedly.
And I would hope that some of you cry out murder less often than your characters do.
Gorga confesses to nothing.
Murder!
I think I call it out more often than Ryan does. But that's because Ryan calls it out 0 and I call it out not 0.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point. I think Cindy and Chris cry out murder more often than Gorga and Talia do, because Gorga and Talia...
Oh, you don't know Gorga.
Murder. No. They imply murder. Gorga doesn't want to be...
Gorga doesn't yell about murder.
Right. Gorga just does it.
Right.
I am thrilled that I could not get through the introduction. To the point where I will say,
paused.
Everyone who does not have inspiration, give yourself inspiration.
Murder!
I don't think I said anything, though, so I don't
You
think
didn't,
that counts for me.
but you
still
get it by
inspiration.
proxy.
I get it by proxy, okay.
Yes.
I'll take it.
You get it for being awesome, and you all are.
Yeah, it's one of those... It's an area of effect inspiration.
Oh,
yes.
oh, I love that idea.
You didn't know I was a high-level bard, because I have no talent for music whatsoever. However, never mind. Joining me tonight are a bunch of awesome people, including Chris, Ellie, Io, Jen, Cindy. Archbeth is hanging out in chat. And what happened last time?
I remember we got in a fight, and I'm still injured, but I'm a bit
Yeah, I'm
fuzzy
still injured
otherwise.
too.
It woke up again.
It started
Again.
feeling again.
What?
We have a nope.
Now I'm entirely confused.
We killed a nope and did unkilled.
Oh, I remember the nope.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and it regenerates a certain amount of hit points every round.
Oh, right.
And fire
flower
wasn't
dog.
working. Fire
And
wasn't
fire
working.
Flower
didn't
dog,
stop
okay.
it.
But Chill Touch does, but it ran out.
Yeah.
Well, Chill Touch is it's built in that Chill Touch does that. It's not built in that fire does that. So it's
Right.
just some species
Right.
fire does. In other species, fire is not bad.
So since we've come as close to killing this thing as we can, how about we take one more stab at it and then just retreat?
Try chill touch
Morley, I
again.
think
Yeah,
we're
what's the plan? Chill Touch.
I think we're dependent on you, kid.
Are
Don't put that kind of pressure on him.
this is an out of character question. It's a genuine, like, I don't know the answer to this question.
42.
That may actually be a valid answer.
How many rounds until Talia dies again?
Are we tracking? Do we track negative hit points
No.
when we talk about creatures who regenerate a certain number of hit points each round?
Nope. When they hit 0, they've hit 0.
When they hit 0, and then they come back to 10.
Yes.
Okay. So it's not going to do us any good to do like 70 points of damage and then run away.
No, so essentially I'm just going to continue to be firing Eldritch Blasts at it and to keep it down.
Yeah, or so we need a chill touch.
Which Morley has.
Thank you for the gift, Aaron.
It's one of my favorites.
That's a good one.
Okay, I was just making sure.
Why
that
is
I
he
understood
doing
that
the
correctly.
Spider-Man hands?
He's actually doing Dragon Ball Z, like constant shooting.
Oh, okay. That makes a
the
little more
joke,
sense.
the joke was he gets to level 20 and just Eldritch Blast, like 20 beams come out. That was the joke.
It's better because he's wearing plaid.
It is. Travis looks good in plaid, though.
It works for him.
All right.
See,
So,
I'm sad that he's not doing Spider-Man hands because those are also Doctor Strange hands.
so long as they're not Dr. Strangelove hands, because those have minds of their own.
They do, and it's really difficult to work with.
To be fair, you can't fight in here. This is the war room is a very apropos quote for this party, but unfortunately,
true.
we have never been in a war room.
Speak for yourself.
I mean, yeah,
Allegedly.
Talia
We've
has,
never all
canonically.
been in a war room at the same time.
Well, as a party, you have not.
Technically correct.
Valid.
The
And
best kind of correct.
and a merry yeet to LFA, who is now joining us in the Twitch chat. I was thinking of you when I named tonight's session, just so you know.
It's called LFA.
It is not called LFA. I am not pulling a Dungeons & Dragons cartoon and pulling LFA into this campaign. They probably would not appreciate
Allegedly.
it. Things would go very bad. Tiamat is much worse in this one.
Apparently, they're making a new Dungeons and Dragons movie.
I have heard that.
Is it
Well,
still
they
starring
have-
one of the Wayans brothers?
I don't think so.
I wish them
I
the best
hate to
because they have
interrupt.
never made Dungeons & Dragons movies before.
But we are 20 minutes past starting
Yes.
time. We should probably.
Yes.
Right,
I mean,
stab the
I
thing
know.
and then run.
We started
I just wanted to
after
take
5.
one more
so
moment.
it's not-
To appreciate how much of the scenery of the Dungeons and Dragons movie Jeremy Irons chewed. Like he ate for weeks. Anyway, yes, you're right.
Okay, so also the Dragonborn who had carved out the staircase that you're climbing and was your guide to the top, I believe they are stabilized but currently unconscious
Correct. I just stabilized them. I don't think we had a chance to heal them.
and may or may not have had Talia standing on their chest briefly.
Gotta keep bringing that up.
As long as they're stable, I'm okay with that for now.
Okay, but I'm saying if you flee in terror or any other kind of emotion and you don't take them with you, you are leaving them to die.
Right.
Which
Gorga
not
is
exact-
unfazed by this moral quandary.
I'm not entirely sure that's a moral
Yeah,
quandary
same.
for Gorga.
So I have a very important question
42.
How do you want to do this?
that may have a really unfortunate answer.
42 can be an unfortunate answer.
Crash, do you still have the initiative order from last week?
No,
I
we're
remember
re-rolling
saying
this
that I was
week.
definitely not going to remember it from one week to the next.
Okay.
So at this point, I'm not even having you roll for initiative. I'm just saying, as it starts to stir again, after the 57th Eldritch Blast to the face, is there anything you want to do at this point, or is this Talia's life now?
I want to cast Chill Touch.
Okay, give me an attack roll.
All right. I got 19 plus 6 for a 25.
That sounds like it'll hit. Let me double check.
And
I'm not entirely
damage
sure. I could be wrong.
is- what?
I could be.
the-
No, it hits. It's
It's,
10 higher than it needed to be.
Yes.
Over 10 higher than it needed to be.
Morley's like, this thing has to die. You know?
Roll your
um,
damage.
Yeah, I got a 1 plus 7 for 8 damage.
Okay.
And that lasts, that takes, I can't read today, hold on.
It can't regenerate until the start of your next turn.
Yes.
And I'm willing to argue that Talia does not let up with the Eldritch Blast every 6 seconds.
You're funny. Natalia's just gonna keep going.
Okay.
And
It
I'm
finally
also
stops
going
regenerating.
with the firebolt.
Talia continues to hit it with Eldritch Blasts after it stops regenerating. We still get fire bolts from Rhine after it stops regenerating. And at this point, it's sort of a charred
That's a 12.
mush. What's that?
If it fails its wisdom save, it takes 12 necrotic damage. Or what does Toll of the Dead do? Yes, necrotic damage.
Okay, it doesn't have a brain to make a wisdom save anymore. So now it's a rotting, charred mush. Congratulations.
Okay, once again, since this thing literally cannot die, I say we retreat.
At this point, it has died.
Yeah,
you
but it's not going to stay dead.
It is staying dead.
There's
It's
chill touch on it. It's super
the
dead.
way. Yeah, the way I this is not like the nope that the kobolds encountered, where it's actually written in the information for that creature that it cannot die and will always regenerate hit points. This thing dies if it hits 0 hit points and does not regenerate. But you didn't hit in last week's session. You didn't hit any of the requirements necessary to keep it from regenerating because fire doesn't stop it. You needed something else to stop it. And Chill Touch is a one-size-fits-all, you don't regenerate anymore spell. So,
Hey,
Okay,
Marley.
then Gorga's probably going to be on edge for a little while, but she'll chill out eventually.
You
But
just
not with the
saved
chill
us
touch.
all. Good job.
I did?
Mm-hmm.
Don't think I've ever done that before.
The Dragonborn, whose name I don't remember if we ever knew.
they never told you, and no one ever asked.
That's what I thought. Regains
Their name is
4 hit
Kevin.
points from Cure Wounds.
Their name is not Kevin, by the way.
Are you sure that's the best move? I mean, maybe we should just cremate him instead.
It doesn't matter.
Creature's
still have a-
already
I'd prefer to
cremated.
not
What do
be
you mean?
cremated, though.
Gorga,
Well,
did
We
you
still have
learn
a ways
Mold
to
Earth?
go. We still have a ways to go to get to the top of the tower, and nobody else can guarantee the stability of the staircase.
Hmm.
Do not want it to come crashing down upon us. Really.
I mean,
So
if the Tarrasque
unless
tries
you
climbing,
learn Mold Earth, I don't want to hear it.
if the Eater of Worlds tries to climb the spire again, we will all be doomed anyway. We're all doomed. It would just be a faster doom, a closer doom, a more personal
Yes,
doom.
it's generally best to assume some level of doom.
My friend,
Super chip at this one, ain't he?
my friend,
I've composed
May
a
I ask
song. Would
your
you like
name?
to hear the doom song?
may I ask your name?
It doesn't matter.
That
May
doesn't
I
seem
call
like a
you
very
Matter?
useful name.
It doesn't matter
Or
if
would
you
you-
call me Matter. The last beings who called me anything called me Prophet.
Prophet. Very
Well,
well.
I'm just going to keep it to it doesn't matter, because I'm not calling anyone prophet.
Yes,
Oh.
I agree with that one.
I am assuming that Gorga and Talia are going to spend profits somewhat differently.
Considering the diamonds.
I mean, you're not entirely wrong, and I hate it that you were not entirely wrong.
Profit.
Has a tendency to do that, you.
Yes?
While it may be true that we are all going to die eventually, I can personally assure you that the life beyond this one is somewhat greater than you might expect.
Well, one, that's a lie, and two, most of us have already died.
The
It's
Eater of
very
Worlds
true.
already ate a
It's a bit of-
god.
Bit of
I
a
don't-
lie.
I don't think
It's
anyone
not a
will
lie
be
at all.
safe.
Look, did any of us expect to wake up again when we
Did any
died?
of us actually get to the other side? No, we did not. We were pulled into a limbo beforehand. We don't know what is
I didn't
expected.
say I didn't say the afterlife. I didn't say life after death. I said the life beyond this one. I worded what I said very carefully.
You worded what you said very carefully, but we all know what it means.
No, we all know what it means, but he doesn't. Is the point? I am not making. Zuda is going out of her way to not make Talia and Gorga feel like she's giving away too much information. So she's talking in riddles.
And meanwhile, Talia straight up said exactly what happened to the party in episode
Yes.
1.
Right.
Then really, but okay.
I was trying real hard not to give that away.
So,
You know,
You
you
can-
two get mad at me when I say that.
I don't mind what you talk about. You can give me a blood sample if you want, but I don't need it. It doesn't matter. What does matter is the pilgrimage. We should continue.
Yes. Let's keep
Okay, knowing this party, Ryan is already preparing a blood sample.
I mean, I've already
Right.
learned more from you.
So,
the angel
ignoring
person.
the petulant teenager brigade,
Ah,
I might be
400-year-old.
older than you. You don't know.
I'm 400 years old, thank you very much.
and the two of you act like petulant teenagers, set up and follow us.
By the way, the prophet is now 40
Chris,
feet ahead
listen.
of you up the stairs.
Yes, dear.
They,
Chris,
they
you
have
were-
done their
you were
walk 20
complaining about-
feet
I'm
and genuflect
following.
You were co-
twice now.
Chris, you were complaining about turning 30. Take the win.
That's true. 400 years old, thank you very much.
But the question is, how old is this particular body? Because it's not Talia's first.
25, I want to say, which rounds it pretty close to 28.
Gorga literally has no idea. She doesn't know much about water genasi until she woke up as one.
Yeah, and Talia came back using the same body, so Talia would have a better idea.
The thing is, Talia needs to go home before she dies again, because half elves don't live as long as elves.
Countdown to Talia dying again. 3, 2,
Rocks fall.
1.
Hey, if she wants to have a third lifetime, she needs to go home. Or fourth.
No, Rocks Fall, everybody dies is what happens if we did what Talia wanted to do.
Rocks fall,
Your
everyone
point?
dies is the fate of everyone if the Tarrasque decides to climb the spire right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's something we can't really control, is it? Anyway,
Well,
let's keep moving.
it depends
up
on
the
what you mean
staircase.
by
Yeah, I'm
we.
following Prophet.
Same. Yes.
Okay. And it is the same monotonous climb that it was before. Everything that happened on your way up the previous day is happening now, which is to say, every 20 feet, there's a pause, there's a genuflection, there's an inspection of the rock faces to make sure nothing's crumbling, and then about 12 seconds of getting up because Prophet's knees aren't what they used to be, and then they continue forward.
I'll give him a hand up.
Thank you. And if this sounds like it's starting to get boring, it's because I want to emphasize how boring it is for everyone in the party right now. Even if your character is insanely patient, a day of this is a bit much. But on the evening of your second day of the journey, the staircase starts to get a bit steeper. Prophet apologizes and says that they were getting impatient because they knew they were towards the end, so they started digging up a bit more. And,
we understand. Believe me, some of us
Sorry.
understand much more than others.
And I would like everyone to make a Constitution save.
Oh dear, I'm not good at those.
Oh no,
I'm sure
this is
it'll be
going to go terribly.
I
Well, I
rolled
would-
a
I-
7 plus 2 for a 9.
I would like to
Ten.
not make a Constitution save, so
The target number, this is a low bar to pass. The target number is 10.
I failed.
Oh, I just passed. Yay!
I nat 1, so
I got a 22.
Yeah, Morley has failed a bit.
yeah,
So how
I
many
gotta.
stacks of exhaustion do they all get?
How many members of the party am I carrying?
I can't be bothered to deal with exhaustion rules right now, so all I'm going to say is the air is significantly thinner as you get towards the top, so you're going to be rolling, anytime you roll a d20 that isn't for a death save, you will be rolling at disadvantage in this upper atmosphere.
Okay.
If we failed the roll,
If you have failed the roll. If you pass the roll, you're just like, smell that clean, fresh mountain air. And those who failed the roll are just like, I hate you. I hate
So
you and
exhaustion.
everything you stand for.
So exhaustion level 1, disadvantage on ability checks then.
honestly, I'm just glad we're not going into cow territory.
Cow
Yeah.
territory?
Yeah, I would really, really rather not smell someone's derriere.
Oh, I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
also I imagine Gorga's "I hate you" face is well practiced at this point.
Everyone's just assuming that's your resting face.
Yeah, pretty much.
It probably is,
Uh,
to be honest.
I also rolled a 1 plus 2 for 3, so
So that's two
Am
nat
I the
ones.
only one who passed?
No.
I
Talia
think
passed.
Talia-
Oh,
Just barely.
right. Yes, you got a 10. Yes.
I got a 10 on the dot.
I'm sure it'll be fine. It's not like you're about to have combat.
Oh.
please don't make us
Speaking
have
of
combat.
which,
I'm so
how
low on
many of
spell
us are
slots.
mostly out of?
Well, that
Um,
depends on you, because you can actually see the light at the end of the tunnel, literally, not figuratively. So if you want to take a break here and take a long rest, you can attempt it. I'm sure nothing will try to climb down. To say
I hate it
Gorga's
when
still
he says,
injured,
like,
so sure, her vote's for rest.
I hate it when he says things like this.
Mm-hmm.
I have
Do you have the bubble?
yes, I have the bubble, and I will be happy to put up the bubble. But I have a question for Crash.
42.
That
Stole my
is
joke.
not a valid answer for this question.
Yay!
I-
Basil's valid.
Chris, I didn't steal your joke. We both stole it from the same place.
That's not the point. That's not the point.
I have a ridiculous question.
I have a ridiculous answer.
Yeah.
I already gave you mine.
I have a water skin full of water.
It will boil at a lower temperature if you are cooking anything tonight, yes.
Gorga and I can breathe water.
Oh.
Can I use shape water to make breathing masks for us?
How long does shape water last?
Um,
Isn't it sort of
Lasts
an
for an hour.
instantaneous effect?
An hour?
Okay, so it will last considerably longer than the amount of oxygen that is stored in the small amount of water, relatively small amount of water that you have in that water skin.
okay.
You can do
Fair
this.
enough,
You
but-
will asphyxiate.
Can
Ew.
I at least allow us to re-roll the Constitution?
The downside would be this is a constant effect. This is the environment you're in.
Can I
you
allow
all
us
have
to
advantage for this?
Can I allow us to re-roll the Constitution save at disadvantage?
Didn't we all have inspiration to dump on that check?
Yeah, we did.
Yes, literally everyone has inspiration. You may use your inspiration if you so choose. Or you can go,
I
this
thought
is
we
fine.
at least take a short rest.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
I
you're
get my
taking a
spells
long
back, so
rest.
I'm good for that.
You're taking a long rest because a bubble's being used.
Oh, we are. Okay, I didn't
Yeah.
know whether we had agreed to do that or not.
We are taking a long rest?
I am assuming at this point, based on the conversation that happened before we got slightly off topic.
Well, I was only asking if she had the bubble, not if she was using the bubble.
And I said I would gladly use the bubble. Is there a landing that's... I mean, it creates a sphere, so it doesn't
Give me 6
really
seconds.
matter.
A landing has been provided.
Okay.
Okay.
Then I'm clicking that button because I'm at less than half HP.
I am
Yeah,
waiting to click the
I
button
am-
to hear whether we manage to click the button.
My tiny hut will go up as soon as everybody is on the landing.
And because it's a tiny hut, you will definitely have uninterrupted sleep. So go ahead and press the button.
The long rest one?
Yay!
Yes.
Yeah. The bad
Okay.
things happen when the bubble pops, not before.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm
But we
hitting
have 8
the
hours for that.
button.
Also,
Okay.
I am going to ask that we re-roll the Constitution checks. Or Constitution saves.
Okay, so here's the deal. I will allow that, but everyone has to reroll. You had a delightful time in a pressurized Leoman's tiny hut.
That was what I thought. Because the
So-
atmosphere inside the space is comfortable and dry, regardless of the weather outside.
There you go. It was comfortable. And now, as you exit, everyone roll for bends.
Swear to God,
Oh,
I'm
no.
get screwed because of you, Ellie.
So, Constitution.
It's
Oh,
a
that's a
Constitution
12.
save. Target number is still
I
10.
am dumping my inspiration because I rolled so much worse.
I
I'm
have.
still fine.
I have a 12.
Less fine, but
I
I'm
rolled
still
the
fine.
same thing, so I'm 3. I'm now
Did we
having.
all get 12? Oh, we
Not
did
all.
not all
No,
get 12.
Talia has super failed.
Oh, no.
Talia is super pissed.
Sorry, Talia.
Talia is ready to cut someone.
Talia went to make her morning coffee, and because water boils at a lower temperature here, the coffee is not the way that she likes to make it.
Ooh.
I mean, it's still made. It's still drinkable. That's not the point.
Oh, 100%. Now, as a point, real life, Chris, that is exactly me. I like my coffee specific ways.
And because Prophet has been up here before, Prophet tries to give Talia advice. I'm going to assume that Talia ignores all of the advice.
Every single bit of it.
All of the incredibly helpful, learned from personal experience advice
Yep.
is ignored.
Completely ignored.
And it doesn't help that how the coffee ended up is exactly how Prophet said the coffee would end up. Prophet does not say I told you, because it doesn't
Ooh.
matter.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, this is incredibly interesting.
Okay, well, we've missed the evening. The sunset from the spire is very delightful to see. The sun will probably be...
I imagine it must be.
It's only a matter of time. But it's nice to see for now and think about the impermanence of everything. But we can probably catch the sunrise. It'll be in the other direction, in case you were wondering. Let's go.
I'm just going to roll something real quick.
Roll to see if you can resist murdering Prophet.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
What?
Okay, Talia resists the urge to push him off the cliff.
You'd have to be pushing for several rounds to get him there.
I have... Okay, I apologize for this being the session where I ask a lot of really odd questions.
Oh no, I live for this because,
This from the person who it's funnier that way.
yes,
Yeah,
and
that's true.
this from the person
That
who
wasn't a
figured
question,
out...
that was an answer.
This is from the
but
person who
causing so
figured
much
out how
chaos.
to make the entire planet forget about Tiamat.
So, here's my question. Talia, because of the thin air, has disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks.
So, a quick question actually. Are we going with the exhaustion rules? Because the exhaustion rules is just ability checks.
Oh, we're not going with the exhaustion rules. Crash said that.
Just everything at disadvantage? Jeez.
Okay, no.
I'll be nicer. I'll say go ahead. Let's go ahead and because I'll be honest, I didn't look up exhaustion rules.
They're on D&D
rules
Beyond, so you can see them.
Yes, I know.
wait.
I still didn't.
I
look
want
them
you
up.
to. I want you to not make it exhaustion roll.
You want it to work for me? Why? Why are you doing this?
So you don't
A
murder the
poison
helper NPC.
creature
Maybe I
has
don't know.
disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks.
So is it poison?
Lesser restoration removes poison.
Ellie's micromanaging this.
Okay, lesser restoration removes a lot of things. Poison is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I will certainly allow you to expend a spell slot to make Talia feel better.
I will expend a spell slot to make Talia feel better.
Talia, you feel physically better. Whether or not you feel emotionally better is for you to decide.
Talia is messed up, yo. Talia's never going to be emotionally sound. Jeez, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
I
but
don't
emotionally
expect
better
Talia
about
to ever be emotionally sound. I just want Talia to be able to attack things.
I'm not giving a binary situation where it's you're good or bad. I'm saying I hope that in the spectrum of how you feel about things, you feel slightly better now because someone has helped you out. Or
Yes.
you might feel worse, but that's a you decision to make.
So
Yes,
we're going.
and also this is also very much
Trying to build bridges type thing?
yeah.
And it's a
Talia
wonderful...
This is very much Zudis saying I've still got your back.
Just pretend we're playing The Walking Dead. Talia will remember this.
And it's a wonderful thought to have as a worst hippo flies over your heads.
Oh, what?
what?
Flies?
Well,
A
flies
worst
might
what?
be the wrong word. It was definitely airborne.
It
did
was
not
launched, potentially.
It did not seem to be propelled under its own power.
Did someone
I
yeet a
apologize
hippo?
again. I
It
apologize
is possible
again.
someone yeeted a worst hippo
Hippo. Okay.
Someone
over the
yeeted a
side.
hippo.
off
Someone-
the spire.
Is
Threw it off the newly
Is it a
summoned,
very-
I bet.
And
Is it a very
somewhere on the
tiny
moon,
hippo?
Zenosha approves.
it a very tiny hippo, or is this tunnel much larger than I thought it was?
You are not in the tunnel. You've reached the top.
Oh, okay.
You were just below the top when you decided, let's take a long rest first.
Well, right, I remember that. I didn't realize that we had made it all the way out of the tunnel yet.
Another one flies overhead. Those of
My
you with a
concern-
passive perception above 15 are aware that there's a sound. I just startled my cat. Right,
Oh, poor cat.
right before, maybe a second before, you see another one fly overhead at a slightly different
They're
angle.
being summoned.
That or
Yeah,
someone. That or someone shouting "pull."
Yeah, I
Well,
am.
I might shout pull.
Hippo
I am not
skeet shooting.
particularly.
That's-
Yeah, right.
I'm not particularly concerned with the hippos so much as where they're coming from.
Oh, they're coming from over there, toward closer to the middle of the spire. So they're being launched a considerable distance, but they're
Dirty 20 perception. What do I see?
you see what appears to be the largest catapult you have ever encountered in your lives. I'm saying plural on purpose.
Mhm.
Hippo
And-
skeet shooting.
And a
really
shimmering
is.
portal above.
It's all
Sorry,
bad.
I heard shimmering and portal.
Yes, a shimmering portal above it. A worst hippo falls into the cargo portion of the catapult, and a humanoid figure. You can't see a lot of details. You can see these things that I'm telling you because of how large they are. The worst hippos are considered large abominations. A humanoid does something, and the catapult launches, and the worst hippo screams as it flies at a slightly different angle. And then the shimmering portal moves over to the next catapult.
Okay,
Oh.
we need to go that way.
This seems
how far away?
extremely elaborate.
How far away is the humanoid that we can barely see?
Well, the humanoids, because apparently there's more than one of them, they
Okay.
are more rounds than I'm going to count. They are not within spell range unless your spell says, well, as long as you can see it, you can hit it.
I'm not necessarily asking about that because Morley can see, and he's got dark vision 120 feet. And
Oh,
I
but
don't
it's
think
daytime.
sun
It's
has come up
dawn.
yet. It's
It's
dawn.
dawn.
Okay, never mind. I wasn't sure if the sun had come. So,
And
alright.
and Io made a point. Io made a point in chat.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And Matt's point, you've learned, doesn't work.
Okay, so they are launching worst hippos through portal.
summoning them and throwing them. Come on, let's...
Yeah, but then they're not shooting them with arrows or crossbows, so I don't get the point.
I don't think they care what happens to the hippos. The point is not the hippos.
It doesn't matter. More food for the
Probably
Tarrasque.
matters. It probably
Indian
matters
worlds.
for the hippo.
You, sir, who doesn't matter? It sounds like you have an idea of what's going on here.
What? Well, we fought one of those, right?
Yes.
It
twice.
kept getting back up again.
Yes.
So, I don't see why it wouldn't get back up again after the fall. And then the Eater of Worlds would be there to chow down, so to speak.
How far are we from the landing place of the hippos?
How far are we
Okay.
from the tower?
No. Are the hippos...
That's an additional
This is-
question, not the same question.
There is no tower.
Yes, you're right. Sorry. Are the
Please ask your
hippos landing on a plateau that we're on? Or
They
are they
are
going
flying
over our
off
heads
the side.
and then falling further down the mountain?
You don't see where they're landing because they have to go below the cloud cover, which you are currently above.
Okay, the
With
hippos
your
are
high
not currently a danger to us. We need to deal with the catapults.
Not the ones that are being launched, you are correct. With your high perception, you can see worst hippo silhouettes in the cloud cover that are slowly sort of like going away as the clouds continue to shift.
In what direction?
Well, they're clouds, they're just dissipating. It's swirling around.
In what direction do I see the worst hippo silhouettes?
Down.
Down?
You are
Right.
on top of
I'm,
the largest
no.
mountain
I'm
on the
making sure I
planet.
heard that right.
Yeah.
Okay. Then, right this second, we don't need to deal with them. What we need to deal with is the catapult.
I'd say the portal more than the catapult.
And whoever's summoning the worst hippos. The worst hippos are not attacking us. They are meant for something else. I suspect the idea is that they are intended to go down the mountain.
Well, that's where they're going, whether or not that was the intention.
So,
You said there's no tower.
Yeah, you're on top of basically the world's largest mountain. There are some structures here, most of which are in ruins where there aren't more than two stones atop each other. There are what appear to be discount market temples.
Didn't the Kevins say there was a tower?
No, they were pointing at the spire, the mountain.
Oh, the spire is the name of the mountain.
Yes.
Okay, I thought the spire
There
was
we
a
go.
tower. This was not clear to me.
everything snaps into place. We're all on the same page.
That's
Yay.
why I was confused about a tower taller than the Statue of Liberty.
No, you're on a spire, a mountain that is far taller than.
Yeah, no, I thought the
Anything.
mountain had a tower called the Spire on top of it.
Nope. And it's the broken spire because it used to be taller and the top portion broke off. There is a smaller but still immensely large mountain range. It's created out of what is no longer attached to this thing. Which at some
It
point
used
I'm
to
going to
be
have adventurers go
really,
there too, but
really
not
big,
today.
buried inside it.
Okay, so where's the catapult?
Over there,
Right.
near that
Profit.
very large pit that you can't see the bottom of.
Please don't mess with the catapult. The catapult is the part of this equation that works for us because it gets those things away from us.
Thank you
Okay, that's fair. Let's deal with the portals first.
for guiding us up here. We have a portal problem to deal with, but we appreciate your help and hope that we'll get to see you again before we head back down.
Sir, it doesn't matter. If you feel up for it, please jump off a cliff.
Savage.
A sudden, what can only be referred to as slide, that goes from Gorga's, but right next to Gorga's feet, to the edge of the spire, forms in the rock.
Not funny.
No, I think it's a little funny.
The Dragonborn chuckles.
I said if you're up for it. I didn't make it a command or anything.
Just
How
because
far away from our...
it doesn't matter doesn't mean I'm unwise. I know you wish my... It doesn't matter, so I don't reciprocate too much. I don't react too much.
I'd say this is quite the reaction.
Well, you have pushed him to it, though, so we cannot
Are-
be surprised.
Are you still here in this discussion? Or did I have that slide extend just a bit further? Go deal with whatever it is you wish to deal with. Fill your pockets with diamonds and shinies. It doesn't matter. Go have fun. I will be here, enjoying other things that will not last, but will last far longer than your quest for riches. Far longer, indeed.
The rest of us are trying to keep everything from getting dragged into the ethereal plane. So.
It would be a convenient
Before
way
we go,
for the Eater of Worlds to eat everything in the ethereal plane, too. But it doesn't
I've
matter.
not thought of that. Before you go, or before we... Thank you for helping us this far. We would not have gotten here without you, and I appreciate it very much.
Thanks for the company.
Would you like a chocolate chip cookie?
You sure they're not raisins?
Positive.
I'd love a chocolate chip cookie.
Okay, here you go. I hand him one.
There is munchings and crunchings.
Random, but okay. We have a portal and probably someone who makes portals to contend with.
And now for the rest of the day, Prophet is going to be resistant to necrotic damage. Just
Morley
in case
doesn't know
something
that,
comes
but
up.
that's okay. Give him a cookie anyhow.
Well, this was revealed when necrotic damage was done to the party, and they'd been eating cookies. Well,
Oh,
someone
that's
had.
right. Okay, so he
Yeah.
might know that then.
Well, Morley is rather innocent and pure,
Yeah.
except for the fact that he's a warlock.
Well, yes.
Except for that detail.
Yes.
It's a minor thing.
He's so innocent and pure, but he sold his soul.
By the way, that sound effect I've been giving has been described by LFA in chat as, it's like a t-shirt cannon of nightmares.
Oh, wow, that's a good phrase.
Is it too late for me to retcon the catapults into giant pneumatic tubes?
I forgot I had that.
Wait, you have a t-shirt cannon of nightmares? Oh,
No,
I need
sorry.
to come visit so we can play with this thing.
I was looking at my equipment list.
Oh, I am less thrilled now.
Sorry.
You have a t-shirt cannon of nightmares on your equipment list?
Give me a second, I can
Yeah, my
remember this.
character. My character is actually from the movie Halloween 3.
I do not get this reference.
It's been a long time since I watched that.
I think it's Halloween 3.
I have never seen any of the Halloween movies.
I have.
Also,
I think. Oh.
Anyway, let's get moving.
Okay. How do...
feet usually work.
Oh. I was imagining a gap between where the things are being launched from and where we're standing. So.
Imagine,
Fine.
if you will, a mostly flat surface. There's a slight angle because, of course, it is. But
Okay.
Mostly flat surface. In the middle, there is an obvious pit or depression. You cannot see how deep it is from this angle, but that is likely the location where more than one person has talked about there possibly being a significant amount of diamonds where one could go swimming a la Scrooge McDuck.
Okay.
And now I have that mental image of Gorga embracing her water genasi new heritage by jumping in a dive into the large pile of diamonds and popping in and out like a dolphin. Scrooge McTiamat? Archbeth? I love it. That is horrible, but sure. All right. So, we've been playing for about 15 minutes. What do you say we take a short break? And when we return, you will have caught the attention of the catapult wielders.
All right, sounds good to me.
Okay.
All right.
I'm going to press some buttons. All right, we're back, and before anyone says anything, yes, I did press the right button.
Yay.
It's literally there on the right-hand side of OBS. It is the right button. It's also the wrong button, but never mind about that. During the break, we rolled for initiative already to get that out of the way. But I will ask, do you try to approach in a somewhat stealthy manner, or just sort of like Sir Lancelot from the Monty Python movies running towards the castle?
I vote stealthy, but
I'm bright gold wearing chainmail, carrying an armory and a bag full of gold. I don't think I get a vote on whether I'm approaching stealthily.
Counterpoint.
I mean, they can try at least.
Yeah. Counterpoint, the opposing side is launching worst hippos into space. the worst hippos are not cooperating with the launch procedures. So they still might be distracted enough to not notice you.
I mean... Oh, right. Side. Okay.
Sidekick catching up there, maybe? No, I don't know.
Let me turn on the dice rolling on D&D Beyond.
I might have a solution first.
Well, I am going to have... You go.
I can't tell if it actually rolled with disadvantage or not, but I think that's a 3. Also, I don't like the dice rolling on D&D Beyond.
Well, it doesn't matter if that was disadvantage or not. 3 is pretty darned bad. I'm going to roll for them.
I said.
The good news is...
Gorga is willing to treat Ryan as the canary in the coal mine.
Oh.
The good news is, if you are operating the Worst Hippo space program, you are also rolling perception checks at disadvantage. And, well, the good news is that means the nat 20 doesn't count. The bad news is your roll was low enough that the 5 that does count, is still higher.
Again, I make stealth checks at disadvantage, and I have a -1 to them already.
For some reason, and this is not true unless you want it to be, but for some reason everyone hears Ryan humming.
How could you hear it over the clinking?
That's true.
It's the brief moments where you pause and sort of press up against a rock face like Kronk in Emperor's New Groove so we can hear the soundtrack.
But no, Ryan is a terrible singer and does not usually do so.
Okay, so it's
You
fair
got
to
this,
say
Ryan.
that...
We're theoretically behind you.
Bold of you to assume I'm not deliberately the diversion, you know.
Not that bold. But at this point, yes, even the worst hippos that are airborne and hating every moment of it do turn their heads specifically to make eye contact with Ryan as they fly over. Oh yeah, you're right, Archbeth. They have no eyes. But they do turn their heads to face Ryan.
Not that thing.
All right. But with that silliness aside, and I do appreciate that Archbeth was writing clink, clank, glitter in more than one chat location.
Nice.
With that silliness aside, you are noticed by the, for want of a better terminology, launch crew.
Oh.
Who, as you've gotten close enough for them to notice you, you can see more details. There seem to be 3 of them. 2 of them look like worst flowers. One of them looks a bit more human-ish, but they have tentacles instead of facial hair? That's not supposed to be a thing, but that's what they've got.
How many catapults are there?
There's about 6 of them, pointing in different directions over the side.
Hey, I heard someone's weakening the fabric of the universe.
That would be me. If you could hold still for just a little bit. And the 2 worst flowers start adjusting a catapult. The one that is pointing closest to your general direction, they are making it point in your direction a bit more.
Oh no.
I would like to draw my sword and start doing sword things.
Okay.
How far are we from them?
That's a good
You
question.
are 60 feet away at this point.
Okay.
I am assuming that, or at least Ryan is assuming, that they are deliberately the diversion while other people sneak up.
Well, remember, their perception check was a 5, so everyone who rolled for stealth and got higher than a 5, you are conceivably still stealthy.
Even if I nat 1, I'd still get an 8, so...
Yeah, but a nat 1 would still be a failure no matter what. If you get a 2, you're fine.
In this case, I got a 22, so yeah, they don't see me.
There is a small twig. You hide behind it somehow.
I think Morley got a 20 as well.
On another planet, Sox is proud of you. Sox does not know you. Sox is proud of you anyway. Sox would have a few notes to hand you, but you weren't totally hiding. You could see half a toenail right there.
Though, by the way, if we're not entering initiative yet,
we're in initiative.
Okay.
With what?
We are in initiative, but there.
Okay.
We were doing the whole introduction thing or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. We have Zudo. What would you like to do?
I am holding my action currently.
Okay. Well, that's fitting because also this Kraken priest is holding their action. Talia, is there anything you'd like to do?
Talia will also hold her action and just wait to see what happens.
Don't fire until they see the whites of Ryan's eyes.
This is just going to be a standoff round, isn't it? We're all just pointing guns at each other, staring.
Well, in fairness, I think only Rain is the one that's visible. The rest are stealthy.
Yes. And the two beings that are not currently holding their actions are aiming a catapult.
Mm-hmm.
So that was their action. Aiming and getting the catapult ready to be loaded. Vex's turn. Vex glares menacingly from behind Morley.
Grr.
From behind Morley. Oh,
Yes. They're kind of latched onto your back
that's fine.
and looking around your shoulder. Not over your shoulder, around your shoulder.
Yeah.
They want to avoid any chance that they get hit during an attempt at a headshot.
Fair.
Ryan, I have the strong suspicion that you are double moving towards your target.
Oh, can I not get to them without double moving?
Well, if you double move, you'll get halfway there. Living on a prayer, kitten on a stair, dancing Fred Astaire.
In that case, I am not going to double move because I have ranged attacks now.
Okay.
Aren't we 60
Fancy.
feet away? Or does... Oh,
Okay,
no, wait.
I misspoke. The distance is 60 feet away. I'm not taking that back. But I did math wrong in my head. So you do your movement to get halfway there, and then you do a ranged attack, correct?
That is
Well,
what I am
because-
going.
Okay.
Because the reason I'm asking is I think I have the same walking speed that Ryan does.
Most of you
And
have
my
30.
walking,
Yeah.
but mine is 20.
I don't know what my
Minus 30.
Mine's
Well,
30.
30 is
Always
kind of the
30.
default.
probably.
Yeah.
Here's 20.
All right,
Unless
Yeah,
you-
that's right. That
What race are you?
Janasi.
Water Ganassi?
Yeah, you should be 30.
Did you,
Are you-
leave encumbrance turned on?
That's
Oh.
possible.
I mean,
Do you
I'm
know-
looking over your stuff.
What?
It doesn't look like you have enough stuff to lower your movement speed in your equipment list.
I have no encumbrance.
So why is yours 20?
Ellie broke it. This is why we can't have nice things. She breaks everything.
I really don't know.
It's because D&D Beyond realized that you have warped reality too many times in my campaigns, so they're trying to hold you back somehow. And in this case, it is almost literal. They are holding you back 10 feet per round.
Are you?
It even says unencumbered.
Weird.
Did you?
Chainmail doesn't say that it reduces my encumbrance. Mace doesn't. Light crossbow doesn't. Shield doesn't. Why do I have a 20?
Let me look up and see if chainmail has a strength requirement.
Oh, that's interesting. That.
Mm.
And Archbeth, I don't believe it's because Zuda is small. That's only the case for one specific Dragonborn, and I had to custom that.
Yes, chainmail reduces your speed by 10 feet unless you have a strength of 13 or higher and your strength is 10.
Ah, there we go.
My strength is higher than
Wait.
13.
Read that again?
If you have a strength lower than 13, then chainmail does reduce your speed. I have a strength above 13, you do not.
I was today
Where are you
years old
seeing
when I
this?
learned that.
It's in the rules about armor.
Basically, both Water Ganassi are too
Can
weak
you-
for our armor.
Can you give me a book reference for that?
I will do so. One moment. I will go to the armor table. Chainmail. Yep, there we go. And I will.
Welcome to Let's Look Up the Rules, episode 19.
Sorry.
No, this is
No,
fine.
this
is
is-
fine. This is interesting to me.
I'm apologizing. I'm
Why is my phone throwing a tantrum again?
Well, while this is happening, what this basically means is the cleric is falling somewhat behind, but maybe you don't want the cleric to be tanking. That's Ryan's job anyway.
I don't.
If you have a player's handbook handy, it's probably
Oh.
part of the regular armor rule set.
Yeah,
All right, let
exactly.
me.
It's in the armor table, and it does not, for some reason, say it on the thing for chainmail, but
But it does have the strength minimum requirement there.
yeah, I mean, in the D&D Beyond does not say
D&D
it
Beyond
when you
is
click on chainmail, but it is in the full rules.
yeah, D&D Beyond's made to be more of a reference and not so much the full rule set itself.
Well, that's nonsense.
It does put in most of the rules where they can back-end it. It just doesn't explain
Yeah.
how it gets to... It shows you the destination, but doesn't always explain how you got there.
Yeah. So it isn't saying what it's doing, but that's why your speed's reduced. Because you have a strength of 10 and chainmail slows you down unless you have a strength of 13 or higher.
Okay.
Okay. I'm somewhat upset by this. But, all right, I'm not going to complain about it right now.
All right. So, Ryan, you said you were going to do a ranged attack. Who are you going after? Worst Flower 1, Worst Flower 2, one of the 6 catapults, or the guy who is cosplaying a character from the Pirates of the Caribbean movies?
I am going after Tentacle Dude.
Davy Jones?
I am going to cast Firebolt.
Commence the pew-pew.
Wait, I should not use Sidekick. Sidekick is
Mean.
having a bad day. That is a 17.
A 17 will hit in a way where shield won't do anything.
All right. And I was about to start using Sidekick again. That is a total of 18 fire damage. And
Can you say calamari?
I would like not to cast Spiritual Weapon. I would like to cast Shield of Faith as a twinned spell. And that has a range of 60 feet. And I am going to cast it on myself and Zuda.
Okie doke.
So now both Zuda and I have a +2 bonus to AC, as long as I maintain concentration.
All right. Well, the Kraken Priest was holding their action, and so they decide to take their action now. They just look at you with disdain. Not a, ouch, not a, you've ruined my plans, just a, I do not have the spoons to deal with you today. And they point a finger at you and make a wisdom saving throw.
All right.
Just Ryan or both of us?
Just Ryan. Did you make the
Yeah.
stealth check, Zuda?
I did.
What was your
I
number?
got a 15.
Okay, yeah. So let's put it this way. He doesn't know you're there. He only sees Ryan. He only has eyes for you.
Okay, wisdom saving throw.
Well, that's a failure.
I use Favored by the Gods. Actually, wait, no, I'm going to try to use my inspiration first.
Okay. I do hand those out like chocolate on Halloween. All right,
That's
a
a
17 is a
17.
success. So he points a finger at you and just says, freeze. And for a moment, you feel like you want to just stay put. And then the moment passes.
No, sorry.
What if I said please?
Okay, I'm providing audio for that.
You cut off.
Zuda raises. I'm providing audio for
You're providing audio for, and that's when you cut off after the word for.
this.
Ah.
Okay?
Zuda raises her hand and says, "Fall."
I'm more of an autumn. I feel like I can't click on that because my audio will be recorded.
It'll be, yeah, it'll.
And I see a band name in
Mhm.
that thing, in that link that you've just provided, so I'm not going to click on that
It's
right now.
it's only 9 seconds long, and it's just a bell.
Yeah, I'm still not going to, but I appreciate it. So I need to make a wisdom
So it has
saving
to
throw,
make a
don't I?
wisdom saving throw at 14.
Let's see. Well, with their wisdom bonus, that makes it an 8.
So they take 7 damage.
The Kraken Priest sees you at this point, because you did raise a hand and then cast a spell, and they sort of just blink once when they see you and go, we are both way too far away from the ocean.
I agree, but I have a reason to be here.
My reason takes precedence. And with that,
I think it doesn't.
you see something in the portal. It's not a worst hippo. It's not a worst flower.
Don't be the Kraken. Don't be the Kraken. Don't be the Kraken.
You don't catch a full glimpse of it, even those of you with very high perceptions. But your initial thought is, that's worse. Gorga, what would you like to do?
Well, I'm going to try to remain hidden, but otherwise I'll be doing a double move to try to move within melee range of Davy Jones.
Okay, double move will get you to the catapult. And
even though I'm also being stealthy?
I rolled a 5 for perception. So I will say that if you intend to perform an instrumental version of We're So Quiet, you still might not be noticed. But you are currently within range of the catapult. You can't do anything other than bonus actions right now, but if you wanted to pick a Worst Flowers pocket, you could.
I'll probably just...
They don't have pockets. Don't pick anything.
Yeah, I was just going to say I'll probably stay quiet for this round, and hopefully I'll surprise someone next round. Surprise, you're stabbed now.
Okay. Now, at this point, a worst hippo falls out of the portal and lands in the cargo portion of the catapult. Now, this might be why the Kraken Priest was in fact holding his action, because he planned to use his action to launch said catapult towards Rhine. But he has used his action. So now there's just a worst hippo sitting awkwardly in the hollowed out cup portion of this catapult. That might be an issue next round. We'll see. Morley.
Okay. How far away is everyone from me?
Well, at this point, the closest person to you is Zuda, who is 20 feet ahead of you.
Okay. And everyone else is ahead of me farther?
Yes.
Okay.
The tank is
Zuda
30
has not
feet.
Moved.
What's that?
I'm sorry, what?
Oh, okay.
Zuda has not moved.
Well, never mind then.
Okay,
Zuda is
so-
right next to you. Everyone
Okay.
else is 30 to 60 feet away.
When I hold my action,
Okay, so
when I
Talia's
hold my
with me as well. Okay.
sorry,
Okay.
That's all right.
when I hold my action, when a character holds their act, they have to abandon either their move or their action.
Yes, so we're holding our action. We abandon our movement and our bonus actions.
Okay.
I was not familiar with that, but thank you for letting me know. I'll be more strict in the future.
Okay, so I have...
So yeah, Zuda stayed right where she was,
okay,
and
so
still got the first hit in the combat.
So I have 3 allies with me plus Vex. Yes?
Yes.
Okay, so...
And Zuda did not get first hit. That was Rhine. The firebolt hit.
Ryan's too far ahead, though.
Oh, I missed that. I'm sorry. Oh,
Did you roll the wrong die for Toll the Dead?
I did roll the wrong die for Toll the Dead.
Okay. Well, it's been a few people's turns since then, so we are going to move forward. So, Morley, what are you doing?
Okay, so I want to make sure we stay stealthy, so I'm going to cast Darkness. I'm going to pull a ball of yarn out of my bag and cast it on that and hold it in my hand. It is a 15-foot radius sphere for the duration, and the duration is concentration up to 10 minutes. And let's see.
I will have a rule that any tabaxi trying to attack that ball of yarn will not be rolling at disadvantage. They know
Fine.
where it is.
That's fine. I haven't seen any yet. So the
Suddenly
point you
Millie appears.
if the point you choose is on an object which you are holding, or one being worn or carried, the darkness emanates from the object and moves with it, completely covering the source of the darkness with an opaque object, such as a ball, a helm, blocks the darkness. But I'm just holding a ball of yarn in my hand and casting it on that. If any of this spell's area overlaps with an area of light created by a spell of 2nd level or lower, the spell that created the light is dispelled. And the darkness spreads around corners. A creature with dark vision can't see through this darkness, and non-magical light can't illuminate it.
Okay, now I know there are... I'm sorry, what was that?
Talia is now frustrated.
Okay, but
If he
can
can't see
Zuda
us, he
see
can't
through
throw a
magical
hippo.
darkness? Because I know some subclasses do gain that ability. There are certain warlocks that gain that ability. Can Zuda
I have
see?
not selected that one.
Oh, okay. I'm pretty sure Morley can see through it.
Or
yeah,
we can check.
Yeah.
You have to.
yeah. Devil's Sight can see normally in darkness
Hey, I
both
was gonna
magical and
say.
non-magical up to 120 feet. So if anything, I can see what's going on.
So
and keep
Morty's
everyone
like,
else
this
from
is
being
going to
killed.
help. And Zuda and Talia are like,
I was going to say right after Talia's going to launch an Eldritch Blast, but the darkness drops and Talia's just like, oh.
I mean, you can still
I
do
can
it.
guide your hand towards it because I can see. You know?
Nope, you can't do the help action right now.
Yeah, it's not now. No, actually, I have to concentrate on this, don't I? So I think I'm helping. He can't see us. He can't throw
You
a
can
hippo at
still,
us now.
like, next turn, you can still do something else as an action. Concentration doesn't take away your actions.
Oh, okay.
It just means any other spell that is also concentration, if you want to cast that, you have to stop casting this one.
Okay.
And if you take damage, you have to roll a die to see if that's broken your concentration.
Okay.
Also, if Kevin is saying anything, you might also have to roll a die to see if he's broken your concentration.
That's possible. All right, that's my turn. That's what I do.
Okay.
I think I'm keeping everyone safe.
So
I
Talia
love
attempt 2 Eldritch Blasts. Probably not going to work. At the end of Morley's turn,
Talia can move first because
Talia-
darkness only has a 15-foot radius.
Talia held her action though, so she forfeited her movement.
Oh, okay.
So Talia is going to just attempt to throw stuff in the open event.
No.
Talia shoots. She misses. She shoots again. She misses again. She falls asleep.
but-
She wakes up and has a popsicle.
Talia is going to
She shoots
launch
and she misses.
Talia's going to try and launch 2 Eldritch Blasts at the same one that was told it did.
Go ahead and roll.
Disadvantage, I am assuming.
Oh, yes.
Super disadvantage.
And let me know if you get a 1.
I did not. An 11 for the first.
That is, surprisingly, for someone who's going around shirtless with no armor at all, going to hit.
And a 16 for the second.
That's a glancing blow.
I
Okay.
straight up expected you to say going to miss after all that. build-up.
So did I.
He
So did I,
casts
to be
shield.
honest.
I expect.
19
okay.
full damage.
If you got a 1, I was worried I was about to get hit.
I would
Yeah.
imagine that.
I mean,
That's fair.
with a 1, I would have had someone in front of you take damage.
So, yes, that's 19 total force damage.
Okay. Kraken Priest is bloodied. And that is everyone who's held their action has gone at this point. So now we're up to the top of the initiative. The worst flower that got a 21. I love that I'm not calling most of these things by their actual names.
Mm-hmm.
Now, by now, half the creatures in this land are just called worst something.
Well, yes.
Worst potatoes, worst plants.
Mm-hmm.
Worst birds.
Right.
Well, the
I
worst
think
birds and
those
worst potatoes are
are
the same
worst
thing.
Potato.
Yes.
Yeah.
Most potatoes are not very good at being birds, and vice versa.
And these are bad at both.
And Archbeth is right. We did also have best frogs.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Better
Canonically,
frogs.
Oh, it was
Better frogs. Ah,
Right.
yes.
It was named by
Canonically, the kobolds still have those.
someone.
They brought some home, but they're native to this continent. I could have thrown some at you. Well, this particular being, it pulls the lever. It is the correct lever. Unless your name is Ryan, then it is the wrong lever. Also, if you are a worst hippo, it is the wrong lever. A yeeting occurs,
Wahoo!
and they don't get to roll at advantage because Ryan made their save when they were told to stay still. Let's see. That's a dirty 20 to hit.
No, because I have Shield of Faith up and my AC is 22.
Okay, so here's how I'm going to flavor this. This hippo-sized being, this monstrosity, this aberration, gets shot right at you. You adjust your stance, put your shield in front of you. It connects and ricochets up,
Bang.
and then lands hard between you and the rest of the party. And I'm going to roll for damage, not against you. It takes 18 points of bludgeoning damage. One could argue it takes 18 points of Rhine damage.
But is it immune to ASMR damage?
It is not, in fact, immune to ASMR damage. Actually, looking over its immunities. So, fun fact, it actually is... actually, no, I did that wrong. When I was importing this in, I put the wrong thing there. It's resistant, so it takes 9 points of damage. I put the wrong thing in and said it's immune to that damage. It's not immune to that damage.
So it's
Also-
resistant to ASMR damage.
It's resistant to ASMR, but it is not immune to ASMR. And it gets to decide how to react to that on its turn, but it's not the worst hippo's turn yet. But guess whose turn it is? It's Zuda's turn.
Well, first I'm going to run out of the darkness.
You're not going to attack it?
No, I'm not going to attack it.
Well, you don't have magic missile, so that makes sense.
I don't have magic missile, and I don't particularly want any elves to show up.
And we already rolled the dice to see if we're getting drunk, or at least I did, and I don't want to do that again.
So I think we're still talking about the same NPC. The one with tentacles for hair. I think you said an 11 hit it.
An 11 hit him earlier, yes.
Okay, so will a 23 hit?
You know, I keep making exceptions for you because you are a friend of mine. And
I appreciate that. I genuinely do.
yes, I know that I'm really bending the rules in your favor, and I hope that our audience forgives me for this. But yes, that does hit.
Then it takes 14 damage, and the next attack roll against it has advantage.
Okay. Noted. Now it's their turn. How far out of the sphere did you run?
I think a maximum of 5 feet.
Okay, so you're still within 5 feet of the 15-foot sphere of darkness.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, well that means that
I think the closest I can be to it is 40 feet.
I don't understand the reasoning for that because it's not your sphere, but
Well, it was.
I believe
I was
she's talking about
assuming we were.
20 foot of movement.
If we were all together,
oh, I get it. Never mind.
Take a minute.
Yes, math is sometimes challenging later in the evening.
It's midnight. No excuses.
I'm old. That's going to be my excuse. Okay? There's one person here that is older than me, and they
Yes.
also don't like math. So
Yes.
moving
That would
forward.
be me. Yeah.
Chris, this is where you're going to be in 13 years.
No, I'm just
13?
waiting
No,
for
it
him
starts
counting
much
it down.
earlier than that. But I will say, Team
I'm just teasing
Warlock
Chris.
/ Twilight Cleric, all three of you make a dexterity save.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Question, and I'm just because I'm being honest here. Jen and I can't see what's coming. Would that be disadvantage?
I can see what's coming.
You can. I can't see what's coming. Would it be
It does.
disadvantage?
You know what? I see how I could flavor it that way, but I'm not going to.
I just wanted to
Can
be
I say-
honest, and I just wanted to make sure that there was a point made.
Can I
Yeah,
say
it's-
no?
Can you say no, you don't want to make a dexterity save? You can willingly fail it, but squirming ebony tentacles are rising up from the ground below you. And it looks like
okay,
Morley
well,
got
I'm
an
going
8.
to spend my inspiration to get my 17.
Oh, natural 20.
All right, I'm going to
Okay.
use my inspiration to not have any.
I'm just going to
Hopefully.
recap that for y'all, just to make sure.
Yes, so you
Oh.
thought you were standing in the good. You are standing in the nope at this point.
Yeah, it's okay. I used my inspiration. I got a 19 plus 3 for a 20.
Okay, so that's 3 successes. Fantastic. The squirming ebony tentacles are still filling the space around you, however. The area is considered difficult terrain, so now Zuda's movement has gone from 20 feet to 10 feet. I'm sorry. I'm not that
That's
sorry.
fine. That happens.
When a creature
You're the
enters
worst.
affected- area is turn there, the creature must succeed a dexterity saving throw or take 3d6 bludgeoning damage and be restrained. Creature starts to turn area restrained. They take 3d6 bludgeoning damage. Trying to read if you take half damage.
Or just no damage.
If it doesn't specifically say we take half damage after the damage statement, then we don't.
Okay. Yeah, well, sometimes in
That's
some
the
spell
rule in
descriptions
D&D
it puts
Beyond.
that in a paragraph underneath. Like it says at the end.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but that's why I was
Something,
trying
yeah.
to speed read through the whole thing and not enunciating very well because I was putting more brain cells towards absorbing the information than sharing it. But it looks like because you all succeeded, you're just a little grossed out. Well, how grossed out you are, you get to decide. But that is currently the only negative effect other than the fact that it's difficult terrain now. And the Kraken Priest says a few words that the imp pulls out a notebook to write down.
Whew.
I'm going to write something down that I'm going to say later.
Okay. Next up, the other worst flower. begins cranking the catapult back down. Talia.
Okay, so Talia knows darkness, so she knows roughly the size of this thing. So, knowing that seems difficult to move, Misty Step.
How far out?
Bonus action, it is 30 feet total, so let's go 25.
Okay.
Not for 30, but not just out of the darkness so I can see and away from roughly where we are.
Okay, that will put you slightly behind Ryan.
Vinderbar.
Isn't
Hello.
that about where the hippo is?
The hippo is now between Talia and Ryan and Morley and Zuda. And Gorga's over there by herself.
And I'm going to use my movement to kind of arc round another 15 feet to the left of Ryan.
Okay.
And, give multiple target locations for them to throw things at. And double Eldritch Blast onto big guy.
Okay.
9 for the first. Natural 20 for the second.
What?
The 9 will miss. The nat 20 will make up for it.
Yeah, well, and that
And
is...
exactly make up for it. That's how
I
it
know,
works.
right?
Especially since Eldritch Blast doesn't have an additional modifier added in. It's just a straight die roll.
No, it does because of my Warlock heritage. So
Well, then I take that back. It's slightly
so-
not as good as 2 hits.
14 total.
14 points total.
Mm-hmm.
He does not like that, but he's still standing.
Okay, and that's my turn. I like that my dice roller is not slow anymore. It's nice.
Okay. Next up is Prophet. He has created a small chair for himself near the edge over there, and he's just sort of swinging his feet over the side of the cliff as he watches the sunrise, thinking,
Nothing really matters. This is a good moment. I'm enjoying this. So peaceful. I will deliberately not look behind me. It's so peaceful here.
And he has a
Gonna-
cookie.
Gonna roll another check for Talia.
oh no, he ate that.
Real quick.
Oh, okay.
Talia resists the urge to Eldritch Blast him off the edge.
He's out of range. That's not a thing that's taking place.
Be too far. Yeah.
Eldritch Blast is 120 foot range.
Yeah, he's way out of range.
Okay.
Very much so out of range. This is a very large mountaintop. It is Vex's turn. Vex
So-
has... Sorry.
I was just going to say, so you consider him the Lord of the Edge?
Oh,
I am upset that this is how you earn inspiration back. Nevertheless, you have earned inspiration back.
Stop encouraging her.
Encouraging her. There is an emoji for this.
That's the one.
That's the emoji. For the listeners at home who cannot see the emoji, it's just the name Ellie written in very large purple letters. That's all it is. Okay. It's Vex's turn. Vex has a movement speed of 60, and Vex has decided that ebony black tentacles rising up from the ground are a firm nope.
that is so valid of him.
So Vex makes a beeline to help.
He makes ivory black tentacles.
I already gave you inspiration. All right, moving forward, which is what Vex is doing. Vex decides to not attempt to come over and help Gorga, simply because then Vex would be like, "Hi, I'm helping. I'm you, the person who's hiding behind the catapult. I'm right here helping you. I can help." Gorga would dislike that. But instead, Vex is going to attempt to go after the worst flower that is closest to Gorga, and is going to go in for a sting. Let's see. Bonus to hit is... Okay, so that's a 16. That hits! Yay! And now there needs to be a Constitution save. One of these days, something's going to fail its con save. Today is not that day. I have put in the stinger damage, but the poison from the stinger does nothing.
Something did fail its con save. To be fair, it just didn't do anything because it was immune to poison damage.
Yes, this is also true. With that said, Ryan, you are 30 feet away. What would you like to do?
I have a movement speed of 30 feet. I would like to close with the Kraken Priest.
He's not going to like that.
He's especially not going to like it when I cast Inflict Wounds on him.
Murder him! Murder
By the
it!
way, I appreciate Archbeth in chat saying the prophet is going,
It's so quiet. It's so quiet.
Quick question, what got Guiding Bolted?
the Kraken
The Kraken
Priest.
Priest.
Oh! Wait, my first attack should have been an advantage then.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, but we forgot that, so
Yeah, I forgot that. That's gone.
So I get it right?
the
Well,
advantage persists.
it's a hand-me-down advantage, but if it fits...
Hand-me-down advantage.
Let me
We
see
are
if
currently browsing
Sidekick-
through the goodwill of Dungeons and Dragons.
Let me see if Sidekick is working again.
Oddly enough, Goodwill is a great
Nat
place to
20!
find vintage
Nat
DVDs.
Yay,
that's terrifying.
Second level Cure Wounds! Not Cure
Wow.
Wounds! Inflict Wounds! I get to roll!
No, you
8d10.
said cure wounds. Roll
could've
your
put
cure
the
wounds.
first. No, I refuse. I get to roll 8d10s.
That is
That's-
glorious.
Is
See,
Davy Jones
occasionally
just
when I
going
give
to
people
explode?
advantage.
That's
54 points of necrotic damage.
Oh my.
okay. So let's put it this way: if the Kraken Priest had a full tank, that would bloody him.
Jeez, and he was already bloodied.
He was already bloodied.
So?
With the Eldritch Blasts, you took him down to 3. So
Oh,
So
If
that's
we did-
51 points of overkill.
that's 51 points of overkill.
Try not to breathe in Kraken Priest.
right.
Did you spend your inspiration? Because if so, you got it back.
Also, I really like the idea of Ryan's inflict wounds somatic component being hitting someone with a sword.
Yeah.
I mean, that's up to you, but I'm on board with this if that's what you
That's-
decides.
Actually, somewhat accurate. I declared at some point earlier that it is. The blade goes weirdly translucent and they swing the sword.
Yeah. I remember
So,
this actually, yeah.
What
It,
happens?
it reminds me of
What?
that Orc Wizard comic.
What happens is Ryan goes up to him and goes, "You're a priest? Pray." And sticks the thing into him, and he shrivels around it in a flash of weirdly gold necrotic damage.
That was cold. I love it.
Okay. So all of this takes place as he shrivels. He crosses his arms across his chest, kind of sort of like an Egyptian pharaoh does in a tomb. And he looks up at the portal that is currently above both of you. And as the light fades from his eyes, the body starts to disintegrate, and the bits that flake off are pulled into the portal.
Neat. That's like a video game.
Well, I didn't want to have to keep rendering the Kraken Priest afterwards. That
Yeah, that's
takes
fair.
up valuable processing resources.
That's absolutely fair.
Okay. And as is my custom, when something gets overkill damage, I just type 99999 in for the damage and press enter.
There you go.
Okay.
It's got to be 5 of them, though.
It doesn't actually let me type in 5 9s. I can only type in 3 9s. So it's not as reliable a server because it's only up to 3 9s.
I still have a
Unfortunately.
bonus action.
Okay. Well, there are 2 targets more if you want to attack a catapult.
What about the flowers?
Well, those were 2 of the targets I was referring to.
Oh, okay. Spiritual weapon.
Nice.
Do you want to go after the one that Vex is stinging or the one that pulled the lever?
Beth, one of the hippos got launched by one of the flowers.
Yes, and they haven't
The
had a
hippo
turn since
got
they
launched
got
by
launched.
one of the flowers.
Right, one landed.
Oh, one landed. Right,
Yes.
right.
I would like to hit the one Vex is stinging.
By the way, I love that the hippo got launched by one of the flowers is an accurate description of what took place, but also
it's gibberish.
so ununderstandable.
Uh-huh.
Right.
A 15 is going to just hit.
Okay, there's the magic number, guys.
No, 3 is the magic number, but 15 is the number you need.
Well, I was going to say that, their boss got hit on 11.
Yeah, but the boss was a shirtless weirdo.
Wait,
The boss was.
what was being said about the 15?
The 15 hits.
The 15 hits.
Okay. And that will do 8 force damage as a sword appears and stabs a worst flower.
Oddly enough, still not immune to ASMR damage. So, as you do this, a voice comes from the portal above you. This slows my plan. It does not stop them. You are like the very small things with 3 times as many legs as you. They crawl around on the ground. What is the word for those? This is not my first language.
Bug?
Yes, you are like the bugs that walk underneath the parts of you that go over the ground. I don't have those. What?
Feet?
The feet. Yes, you are like the bugs beneath your feet. I will consume all of you.
You will be very embarrassed.
Also,
when
I'm
we
going to
stop
get a
you.
dictionary so I know more of these words. All right, and do I want to do this thing? The answer is yes.
Yes.
Write down those notes without all of the... what is this word?
But I am going to choose not to do this thing because I'm also looking at the time. Gorga, it's your turn.
All right. Well, I was planning on stabbing Davy Jones, but instead I'll make my way to the most injured worst flower and make a stab at them.
As luck would have it, it's also the closest one to you, and it's currently engaged with 2 of your allies. I think that implies a few things that you have available.
It's engaged with 1 Vex and 1 sword.
True,
All right,
and
so-
I would argue the Vex is what counts in this case.
Yes.
So I got a 22 on my attack roll
That will hit.
and 22 for damage, oddly enough.
Okay.
And I'm not going to try pickpocketing these guys, even though I'm using my special pickpocket sword.
They don't have pockets. It's for the best. The Kraken
So
Priest had pockets, but he's gone.
So instead, I'm just going to give Ryan advantage.
Appreciate it.
By the way,
And
this
that's my
worst flower
turn.
is bloodied. Worst flower is bloodied. It is now the worst hippo's turn. It gets
no.
up and shakes it off. Taylor Swift goes flying. Thank you, I'm here all week. And it starts running away from all of you.
We're in 2 different places, though, aren't we? So where is it running?
Well, yes, you're in 2 different places, but it can still run at a 90-degree angle from both of you,
Oh, okay.
from both groups.
That's fine.
If it doesn't want to be a part of the fight, I'm not going to force it to be part of the fight.
What is
Well-
it running toward?
It's running from the things that launched it and hurt it a lot.
You know that's
Okay.
fair.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, like when we were running away from the Tarrasque, you're just running away from something, not really caring where you go as long as it's away.
That's how you met a lawyer. In any case, it's Morley's turn now.
Okay. Is there anyone near enough to me where the darkness matters anymore?
No, you said, "Hey, everyone, look at this cool thing," and everyone was like, "No." So
Yeah.
right now,
Ah.
so the good news is the tentacles went away also.
Oh, good. Okay, so... And we have, what, 1, 2 flowers, worst flowers left?
There's 2 worse
2 flowers, one's bloodied.
One's
Okay.
bloodied, but if you recall, that can change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to stay in the darkness because I don't want these things to hit me at all. And,
I mean, they could try aiming a catapult towards that 15-foot radius sphere of darkness.
they could try. But I'm going to cast Chill Touch on the one that is bloodied so it doesn't get back up, hopefully.
Roll for an attack.
Okay, I got 15 plus 6 for a 21.
That will hit. Roll your damage.
Okay, damage is 2 plus 7 for 9.
Okay. 9 points of nope damage.
Yep, that's probably all I'm going to do. I don't know what else to do.
All right. The next thing that happens, I have a wonderfully long list of toys I can play with.
Is anyone present to play with them?
So the not Demogorgon. It is a Demogorgon from Stranger Things. That's the stats that got added in the D&D Beyond. That's what we're using. But the worst flower is what you know it as. The one that isn't injured drops dead.
This is concerning.
It was
Not
just
the one I
3
hit.
days until retirement. Also, it was going to go next, but it's dead
Did
before it turned.
somebody do that? Because I did not.
I
And-
definitely did not.
I hit the one
It
nearest
was
you,
not me.
Ryan. Not this one.
I don't
Can I
believe
just
I
do
have
a
that
f-
ability myself.
Can I just do a few Eldritch Blasts on it just to make sure?
I mean,
Oh,
when
We
it's
still
your
have
turn,
one that's
certainly.
moving.
Are we still in combat?
You are still in combat.
Sorry,
There
Still in
the
initiative,
bloodied one is still up. The one that wasn't bloodied just took lethal damage for some reason that none of you can discern.
That's
I
terrifying.
apologize. I
Out of
apologize.
character, it's that lawyer again.
Zuda's
isn't it?
reaction would have been much different.
All right.
Would it have been neat?
Would it have been,
No,
neat.
because Zuda is at the top of the initiative list. Zuda's reaction to Ryan's question would have been yes.
Da-da-da.
Oh, yeah, that was a thing. But in any case, it is currently Zuda's turn.
And Zuda looks at and moves 20 feet closer to the worst flower that is remaining, points her hand, and says, "Flee or fall."
What spell are you casting?
I'm not casting at all. I'm actually holding my action.
This is just an intimidation check.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, as luck would have it, there's a gap in the initiative here, but only because
That's
the Kraken Priest was in between.
That's a natural 20 on the intimidation check for 22.
Okay, the question is, can you intimidate a flower?
Well, let's find out with a natural 20.
Well, I'm not quite
Here.
sure exactly which stat I would apply for it to try to resist this intimidation check, but whatever stat it is, I rolled a 3.
Oh.
And there's nothing here on my end in this character sheet that gives me a modifier that will counteract a 22. It doesn't. If I say, okay, well, what if I add multiple stat bonuses together?
Right.
Nope.
Doesn't matter what you say.
What if I add them all? Nope.
Oh.
So, on its turn, it turns and begins to flee. Now, this opens up some attacks of opportunity from 3 of you, from Vex, Gorga, and Rhine.
I'm taking the stab.
Oh.
17.
Wasn't Rain at range?
Rhine was close enough to the
Does-
Kraken Priest that I'm saying that it has to get past Rhine to flee.
Oh.
Yeah, Rhine ended the Kraken Priest with a melee attack. A 17 hits.
I am going to attack of opportunity with a firebolt because I can do that because I have the Warcaster feat.
Warcaster! Woo!
Pew pew.
Absolutely love that feat. So good.
But I rolled an 8, so I do not think that the firebolt is going to hit.
I mean, after the natural 20, it's all good. What you
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was 6 damage from. I almost said Cindy. There is no Cindy, only Gorga. 6 damage from your non-sneak attack damage because you already did sneak attack this turn, so therefore you can't do it again. And
It was Ryan, Gorga, and
Vex. And Vex missed.
Vex. Okay.
No, Vex hits. Vex hits with a 19.
All right.
Go Pseudo Dragon.
Vex is going to again do 4 points of damage, and that is another successful Constitution save. It does not fall over unconscious because Vex poisoned it. It manages to continue to flee. But I'm going to say that if you choose... Well, Talia, do you intend to take a shot at it? You're next.
2 Eldritch Blasts to the back.
And this is all happening before Morley's turn, so it's not going to regenerate. you kill it.
16
Hits.
and 16.
Hits.
7
Dead.
and 40. Okay.
Done. Can't regenerate.
I rolled max damage on the second one.
Okay, you kill it a lot. How does that look?
Kills a super kill it. The first one rips it in half, and the other one takes off its flower head.
Okay. The flower head spins like a frisbee for a little bit. No, better. It spins like a maple seed falling to the ground.
That sounds right somehow. Mm-hmm.
And then it just collapses into a pile of whatever a worst flower is. Monstrosity. They're technically referred to as monstrosities. With that said, Gorga and Rhine and Vex, but Vex doesn't care so much about this. Rhine might not care either. You are close enough to the pit in the middle of this mountaintop to see that, while it's not filled to the brim with diamonds, it is in fact significantly full of an amount of treasure that without a bag of holding you're not going to carry away. But that won't necessarily stop you if you choose to fill every pocket you've got.
All right. Well, a few days ago, we were worried about funding this mission, and I'd say that's taken care of.
Has anyone in the party taken damage?
No.
I was hiding here in the darkness.
That's what I thought. I just wanted to make
I need
sure.
to get Devil Sight, seriously.
We had
It's so
Devil's
good.
Sight is magnificent.
Yeah, I really need to grab it.
So the
Okay,
attacks that took place against you were several of you made very decent saves, and one of you has an AC of yes, so you managed to avoid having a hippo catapulted at you.
I mean, that's impressive right there.
Yeah,
And on
Gorga's
that note-
just gonna out loud say, so we have two things as a party to discuss. One, how come monsters keep reacting in ways they shouldn't, like not moving or suddenly dying? Two, how are we gonna spend these diamonds?
And on that note,
And 3,
go on.
would anyone like to spend the next 24 hours in my tiny hut?
Why 24 hours?
Because that's how long the
Because
spell
that will
lasts.
put it. No, the spell actually will last for 8 hours. I'm intending to cast it to cast it and then recast it every 8 hours so that we can start off at dawn tomorrow.
Sounds decent to me. Give us a lot of time to discuss the other issues I brought up.
Like a good plan. and
Mostly
we'd
the
be safe in
diamonds.
there. I don't care about the diamonds, but we would be safe inside the hut.
All right. So thank you everyone for playing. Thank you everyone for listening. Tonight we were joined by a bunch of awesome people, including Chris, Ellie, Eo, Jen, Cindy, Archbeth's hanging out in chat, LFA is hanging out in chat.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Is there anything that anyone wants to plug?
My mom writes books. You can find them at elizabeth-mccoy.com.
I do a podcast. You can find us at azrothctc.com. We talk about video games, D&D, all the things, all the fun. We talk a lot about Cyberpunk today. It was fun. And all the drama. All the drama.
As buggy as tonight's session was, we have fewer bugs than Cypher Prank 76.
We
Yeah,
primarily
we kinda
talk
do.
about all the issues with the two old gen console versions and their performance on it.
Crash, how long is it between when we're actually doing this and when the episode airs?
We've burned through a lot of the buffer that I designed, so I actually don't have an answer for you right now. I have fallen behind on
Okay.
editing.
So I'm gonna do a what do you call it?
Plug?
Not an ultimatum.
Oh, okay. Suggestion?
Public service announcement?
If you're not a Patreon subscriber, then when you hear this, Odesson.com will have a website.
Who what now?
What's that?
That's EO's
Does it
website.
need?
Oh,
Oh.
Nice. Very nice.
all right.
And,
I am
Go
baffled
ahead.
but optimistic.
I am surprised but extremely
I'm
happy for
surprised,
all
but that's
involved.
cool.
I'm
yeah.
I happen to own EO's website, so I am saying within the next a month, I'm gonna put a website up.
Nice.
Yay.
Websites.
Websites. Speaking of websites, mine
Websites.
is bookofgen.net. That's bookofgen.net, and I've got several podcasts on there, a bunch of gaming stuff, a whole bunch of other stuff. I'm also the host and editor of the Shattered Soulstone podcast. You can find that at shatteredsoulstone.com.
Also, she doesn't plug things, but Cindy is awesome.
Cindy is awesome.
Yeah,
Always.
Also true.
Thank you.
Cindy is fantastic.
And
You
you are
guys
awesome.
flatter me.
And you are awesome. And you are awesome. Check under your seats. It's an envelope. Inside is a
It's
card that validates you
bees.
and says you're awesome. Yes, there are also bees. The bees are unrelated.
There's a note that says you're awesome and just like copious amount of beads. Hold on, let me find it.
sweet
All right.
dreams are made of bees, so
Who am I to disobey?
We also have a Patreon,
Travel the world in the
patreon.com/cogwheelgaming. Help us
Everybody's
keep the
looking
lights
for
on.
some beer.
You can be a patron like the other patrons we have, including Chris, Ellie, Eric, Janatalock, Mickey, Shan, and Walter. And until next time, this is Crash saying,
Wrong button!
I'm still here.
No, you're
Why
not.
are you going around ignoring me? I am your doom. You should be quaking in fear, and instead you're just putting small rocks in your what is that small container thing that you put? What are those called?
A lot of
this
things
voice
have claimed to
still-
be my doom. You'll need to take a number.
Is this voice still talking? Seriously?
Seems so, yes.
You are very
got a
frustrating.
really- That's got a really deep voice for something that has 1 hit point.
I know, right?
Good night, everybody.
Good
Good
night.
night.